Jai Hind, this is Brigadier Hemant Mahajan. We meet again for another security scan in which we will cover various important events that have taken place in and around world which has an effect on India's internal security, India's external security, and also the way by which India is countering China's multi-domain war. Let us start with some important activity. Firstly, you should know that two Pakistanis were arrested in Greece because they were plotting a terror attack against a Jewish restaurant in Greece. Secondly, Japan is strengthening its defenses and it is also making a plan as to what to do if the Chinese naval vessels enter the Japanese sea. This is a good news for India simply because it ensures that Japan's considerable military strength is used against China. Next issue is Joe Biden, President of USA, has passed a lot of laws which tell the US companies, the companies in Europe, not to give chips to the Chinese. Now the chip industry is very huge. Chip is the heart of technology, and if the chip production is stopped and the companies in Europe and America are stopped from exporting chips to China, it will be a big blow to China. India is making an utmost effort to develop its own chip industry. In fact, the Chinese envoy to Dutch in Europe has warned the European countries that if they start putting restrictions on chip manufacturing companies exporting chips to China, they will have to face consequences. A latest United States report states that Chinese Communist Party is actually ensured that there is a spy in in the pocket of every American. What they mean is Americans are extremely fond of TikTok, which is a video platform. Now TikTok is stealing information from China and noting how they behave, how they react, etc., by which it will be able to influence them in the days to come. The US security officials have come to a conclusion that the only way to save United States youth from Chinese influence is to stop or ban the TikTok app. Now we must remember that as far as India is concerned, India had banned TikTok long time back. However, Indians still have a huge problem as far as information war or influence war or data warfare is concerned. Even now, 30 to 40% of Indians today have a mobile of Chinese manufacture. So it is like having a Chinese spy in your pocket who's keeping a watch on whom do you speak with, who speaks to you, what economic transactions you do, where all have you gone, etc. They can activate your audio, they can activate your video. So therefore, it must be ensured that Indians do not use Chinese phones, Chinese mobiles, any Chinese equipment, because it is stealing data from India and using it for wrong things. The next issue is that the international telecommunication traffic today, 95% is with the help of fiber optics undersea cable. However, there are reports that such fiber optics cable are being attacked by the Chinese, and in fact an island of Taiwan where fiber optics cable were damaged was cut off from rest of the world for a long time. How to secure this is a huge challenge. Manipur is fighting an uphill task as far as drugs are concerned. The reports say that in last about 3 to 4 years there have been 217 people have been convicted in 637 cases of drugs. The drug addiction is increasing. Manipur has a border with Myanmar and lot of illegal drugs come from there. And there are two ways drugs come into Manipur. One is of course illegal drugs coming from outside Manipur, that is from Myanmar. And second is the cultivation of poppy and ganja, which can be converted into heroin, opium, etc. So both these problems are serious. The government is trying. There's a report of Chief Minister saying that they are trying very hard. The DGP of police has also been saying that they've caught a lot of people, but the fact still remains that Manipur is facing a serious problem as far as drugs are concerned. Not only the drugs are being used in Manipur, they are also being transported to various other places in the northeast and also to rest of India. This must be stopped. The next issue is with regard to Bhutan. There was a statement by the Bhutanese Prime Minister who said that China has an equal say in resolving the Doklam dispute. Now, one would remember Doklam dispute was in limelight about few years back when China wanted to intrude there, but the Indian army stopped them. And after nearly 74 days of standoff, the Chinese finally went back. At that point of time, Bhutan was on the Indian side. Doklam is a tri-junction where the boundaries of Bhutan, India and China meet. But now it appears that the Bhutanese Prime Minister is talking the language of China simply because he must be under economic pressure from China. This is a bad news as far as India is concerned. So therefore, we have to ensure that we do utmost to make Bhutan change their stance, because Doklam Plateau is near a very crucial area of what is called as the Siliguri Corridor, a narrow strip of land which joins India with the northeast. So this definitely requires to be protected, and the Bhutanese have to be told that this kind of a statement would not do. The next issue pertains to China-Russia relations and its effect on India. Now what's happening is China has become a big friend of Russia. They are supplying arms and ammunition to Russia, etc. But does it mean that India's relations with Russia will get spoiled? The short answer is no. Russia understands that Russia is today supplying nuclear submarines on lease to us. Russia and India are jointly manufacturing a missile called BrahMos, which is being purchased by few Southeast Asian countries. Lot of arms and ammunition to India comes from Russia. So therefore, Russia and India are a big partner as far as defense cooperation is concerned. So therefore, it's quite clear why Russia will continue to be friendly with China so that it gets help from China, but it will also maintain its own relations with India and ensure that India-Russia relationship does not get spoiled or does not get affected because of China. The next issue is SCO meeting. A Shanghai Cooperation countries meeting is taking place in India, in which the national security advisors are meeting. Now what we have to understand is this SCO meeting which is taking place has not been given too much of importance by India, simply because SCO consists of India, China and some other countries of the Central Asian republics. Now India has been giving a big importance to the G20 meetings. It's a president of G20 for next 1 year, and a high voltage fashion national endeavor is being made to impress the countries of the world. However, as far as Shanghai Cooperation Operation is concerned, that has been kept on a completely low key, and in fact India has used this occasion of SCO meeting, where it's a precedent for some time, to convey to the SCO countries that terrorism is a problem of the whole world, and Pakistan and any other country should not use terrorists as a strategic weapon. It has also given a message to China that what you have to understand is that you simply cannot do salami slicing in Indian land. So therefore, while SCO is dominated by China, this platform has been used as an opportunity by India to give a very clear-cut message both to China as well as Pakistan, that security of India will simply not be will be of prime importance, and it will not be tolerated if somebody goes against India. The next issue pertains to India's Defence Ministry, which has signed contracts worth nearly 6,000 crores with Bharat Electronics Limited. The next issue is Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is attending a combined commanders conference which is starting today at Bhopal, in which he will meet the commanders of Army, Navy and Air Force, and it's a very important event as far as India's national security is concerned. The next issue pertains to the Agniveers. The first batch of Agniveers has passed out from Navy's INS Chirka, and they will join the Indian Navy. The next issue pertains to an article which has appeared in a foreign magazine which talks about as to what the Chinese feel about India-China relations and the effect it has on the LAC. Basically, the Chinese experts, Chinese think tanks are advising their government that you should try to be friendly with India and ensure that it does not go in the US camp. But should India not accept this, then then military force should also be used. The next issue pertains to the global warming. There is a report that the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Water Resources was told by an expert body that the glaciers in India are melting at a very, very high speed. This is going to create a problem of water security, environmental degradation as far as India is concerned. The next issue pertains to oil and energy security. The markets are turbulent. The prices of oil are going up and down. India up till now has ensured that by using cheap Russian oil, it has been able to safeguard its oil security or energy security. How long this can continue, but we have to keep on trying, but meanwhile we have to also ensure that we start looking for oil into our own country, and secondly we should try and go away from oil as a source of prime energy for transportation energy as early as possible, and for that we are going in for what is called as use of hydrogen. The next issue pertains to efforts which the world is making to fight a multi-domain war against China. In fact, almost the complete Southeast Asian countries are against China. Many African countries are against China. In addition to that, many other Asian countries are also against China. And today, Vietnam is arming itself. Japan is arming itself. As far as Southeast Asia is concerned, they are working on a policy on their maritime security, in which they talk about AMO, that is Southeast Asia's maritime outlook, Asia or Southeast Asia's maritime outlook, in which they will comprehensively deal with challenges that come for maritime security. Basically, it pertains to China. This kind of a policy is a good thing as far as India is concerned. Australia is also working very hard to develop submarines, develop its defenses against China, so that Chinese inroads into Indo-Pacific are stopped. So all in all, Australia arming itself, Japan arming itself, the other countries in Europe going against China is definitely a very good news as far as India is concerned, because India thereby gets a large number of friends who are utilizing their own national resources in countering China. I'll stop here. Thank you. Jai Hind.